The grace and peace of this new year be upon you and your loved ones. As we continue today reflecting upon the Catholic faith and its origins in this country. We spoke on Monday about Mother Seton and the influence she had in establishing Catholic schools and establishing a religious community, the Sisters of Charity, long connected to our diocese. We spoke yesterday about Bishop John Neumann, who was the third Bishop of Philadelphia and who was Bishop of our diocese at one point when we were still part of the larger Philadelphia diocese. I'd like to go back in time today to the first bishop of this country, who is the bishop who actually confirmed Elizabeth Ann Seton, and that's Bishop John Carroll. John Carroll was the first Roman Catholic bishop in the United States and the first Archbishop of Baltimore. It was under his leadership as the very beginning of the faith in this country that we were able to grow so strong. He was born in this country. He was son of a prominent Maryland family. And while there was no training seminary for preparing men for the priesthood, he did his studies over in Belgium, studied with the Jesuits, and eventually returned to Baltimore in the spring of 1774. That's right before the Revolution. In fact, regarding the political involvement of his family, his cousin Charles Carroll was the only Catholic to sign the Declaration of Independence. Truly one of our founding fathers, his cousin Charles. But back to John. In the post-revolutionary years, John Carroll was not so much active in politics as his cousin was, but he was reorganizing the Catholic Church, establishing a wonderful relationship with Rome. The Diocese of Baltimore was established under him, and as Bishop of Baltimore, he was his ministry from 1789 onward encompassed the entire United States. This, of course, was prior to the movement west to California, but every place in America he was responsible for. And he worked to train priests for this country. In fact, one of the things he did was in 1791, he founded a Sulpician seminary in Baltimore, which still exists, St. Mary's Seminary in Baltimore, and also encouraged religious communities to found seminaries to train their men as well. One of the things we know about St. Mary's Seminary in Baltimore, it was the seminary where our own Demetrius Gallitzin studied and was ordained from there, ordained by Bishop John Carroll. Just a little bit more about John Carroll and the foundation that he laid for the Catholic faith. Among foundations that he laid the cornerstone of the Baltimore Cathedral, which is in the downtown of Baltimore. And he collaborated with Benjamin Latrobe in planning that building. If you know a little bit about architecture, the U.S. Capitol was designed by Benjamin Latrobe. So the Capitol in Washington, D.C. and the restored and magnificent Basilica of the Immaculate Conception in Baltimore, both designed by the same architect. During his head as head of the Catholic Church in America, the population in this country grew from, the Roman Catholic population, grew from about 25,000 when he began his life here to 200,000 by the time of his death. He died at a very young age and has left an indelible mark in the formation of the Catholic faith in this country. He was the one who established synods for bishops, and the third synod of bishops in Baltimore after his death continued his love for the faith and his love for schools by publishing the Baltimore Catechism. All of that goes back to the impetus of Bishop John Carroll. So we're grateful this week to honor Americans, Catholics who have fashioned the faith of the East and especially of all of the United States, but Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Maryland, the whole colonial era is marked by the leadership of our first bishop, John Carroll, by the ministry of Mother Seton, and shortly thereafter by the ministry of Bishop and St. John Neumann. May God bless you as we continue tomorrow reflecting further on saints from America. May God bless you and your loved ones.